As we witness the process from beans to bar, here with us we have the mastermind and founder Mithilesh Vazalwa, from whom we'll get to know more about the coffee craft. How, if given an option, how would you like to explain Corridor 7?
Corridor 7 is about prima facie sourcing the best of Indian green beans, Indian coffee green beans, and roasting it to the best that we can do and brewing it. But I would say we focus more on the experience side of things rather than just pumping out coffee as a transaction. So we started it as an experiential place for people to understand coffee, to know coffee, but at the same time not make it too overwhelming for them. So we educated them in coffee, the whole customers, and created our own community, I would say. So Quarter 7 is about giving experience. That's what I would summarize it as.
As far as my research is concerned, Mithilesh, you were a CA student. And then you have had your journey from a CA student to representing as a keynote speaker at Indian International Coffee Festival. So how is that journey like? How did you end up here at Corridor 7?
So CA was not my cup of coffee, I would say. I did not wake up in the morning just to say, hey, I'm going to tally a balance sheet or something. Nothing against him. My dad is a CA. But I got into it because my dad is a CA, so I did not really think much. But I wasn't made for that, to be honest. And I used to brew coffee from like a very early age, since I used to import books, I used to get like different kinds of coffees and all. But I did not think there would be a career in that, to be honest. So yeah, cut to 2015. I went to Melbourne. I went there just for a CA tie-up that I wanted to have over there. But I ended up doing a 2-day short coffee course over there. So I would not even include that in my resume, to be honest, because it was just a 2-day thing. And the thing that changed was I met a lot of roasters and Q graders. So Q graders for a coffee person is more of like how a young cricketer would think of Sachin Tendulkar as. So for me, Q grader was like a big thing, and I met them, and then I was like, wow, there is something in this. I came back home. I remember the date, 17th of July 2015. I came back and I told my dad that I'm done. CA is not my headache now; it is yours. I am going to pursue something in coffee. So he quickly understood that I'm not gonna listen. I'm just gonna pursue what I wanted.
So how was his reaction like? Did he agree to it?
As a matter of fact, he agreed, and that was the challenge because I had prepared everything to tell him like, okay, like why I don't want to do CA. I had prepared for that, but I did not have any answer to the question that he asked, like, okay, what are you going to do next in coffee? Because I did not know, like, there was no mentor. The market was very new, pan India. I'm talking about. So yeah, that is how it started. But one thing led to the other. There was a like I think the stars started aligning together, and I started working for somebody in Delhi. They were a coffee company, a startup. I worked over there for like 1.5 years. Started as a junior roaster, ended up as a quality control and trainer over there and heading their operations. From there, I then went to Melbourne again for 3 months, did my Q grading over there. And in between, I worked with my mentor, Alexander Nicolae from Romania. He was 2016's World Coffee Roasting Champion. Worked with him for 10 days and then came back to India and then represented India. So
Romania is known for coffee.
it started like big time, and it's like a market leader in coffee now. So not that it grows coffee, but the culture is amazing over there.
So can we call it was your passion which you turned into profession?
I would definitely say that. It was very difficult for me to understand how a passion can convert into a paycheck, because that is also important. But that was not in my thought process. Like, how do you basically make money out of it? It was just about learning, creating a name, making people understand that you have done your efforts and you know what you have done, sort of. So yeah, it was a passion project. It is a passion project even now. And I go back to the days when we started Quarter 7 from a 180 square feet space to today, where we're just waiting to open up. Like open up for everybody coming inside.
Speaking about COVID, Mithilesh, the businesses at large faced a lot of loss. What impact did it have on your business as you run a coffee shop?
So it had a bad impact, to be honest, initially. But one thing we realized, and one thing I would really credit this to my team, because the team we've got at Corridor is amazing. You know, like they're very passionate, they're enthusiastic, and it is not a compulsion that it comes out to them to be here. It is their passion that comes over here because of which they are here. So we got together when the lockdown happened, and we were like, okay, what next do we do? Because we were not on the delivery platforms. We were all about experience, as I said earlier. So we had to kind of adapt. So we did something called unknown conversations. We did that. We did like more. How do we communicate that we want you to have not just the coffee but the experience around it? So we had to adapt a lot. But yeah, everybody started putting their hands up, saying like, "I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that." And not to forget, the best part was the like I get goosebumps, to be honest. I'm not kidding over here, but I get goosebumps every time I think how the consumers and the customers and our guests reacted towards that whole thing. They were super supportive. They were really amazing. The kind of messages we got was amazing. So it was tough initially, but that is the time we also realized that okay, we have created something which it is not just ours, but it is also the whole customers have become like the part of Corridor 7. So we have adapted. We do
So
miss.
it's a big corridor family.
It is. We can actually call that. It's a huge family. We miss them without a mask inside, but it is a huge family, and really like all thanks to them that we survived, and we are kind of looking at another phase of Corridor 7 in these situations. So it was tough, but I think everybody coming together was very important.
You post COVID, you might have brought a lot many changes with your staff members as well, making sure that everybody is safe, consumers are safe, you guys are safe. So what all precautions do you take in your coffee shop?
So I started this tagline for the team, which we printed out and stuck it on the T-shirts for everybody. That no steam, no team. All right. So steam was a compulsion for everybody to take in the morning. We had a WhatsApp group that you have to click a picture and send. So that was there from April on, and we still continue. It's become a habit now. Apart from that, for the guests, we have not yet opened up. We do get a lot of complaints about that. We want to sit inside and all, but again, it's a time. It's not a big place, I would say, but amount of people we are expecting is going to be huge. So it is kind of our responsibility. So we've got the taglines of no mask, no coffee. Then cash transactions we had reduced a lot. We are avoiding that as much. You'll just see a cash box outside. Sanitization, of course, those norms are being followed, and temperature checks and all are like just a very second skin kind of a thing. But yeah, we've in fact everybody has avoided going out for parties because it's very important that you as a team also stick around and like stay together. So yeah, those are the things we are doing. But we miss that again, as I keep saying that we miss everybody being inside, sitting inside. But soon.
I'm sure, yeah, soon. I've just went around, looked at your menu. I see there are lot many varieties of coffees you offer, from cold brew to hot coffees, and there are different. You represent coffees from different countries as well. Like I've seen Vietnamese cold brew, which is one of my favorites. So how is that like?
So see, we've like bifurcated the menu into majorly two categories. One is the manual brew, where basically we've got aeropress and pour overs and chemex, siphon, clever drip, all these things, which are very very new, not just to the city but to a lot of people pan India as well. I'm glad the culture is picking up. Uh, the second part of the menu is the espresso based beverages, and then also we've got a cold brew menu. So what happens like we don't get up in the morning saying aaj kuch to banana hai sort of a thing, like let's come out with a new beverage, but it comes pretty naturally to the whole team that we are just experimenting around, and we get something or the other, like mix and match, and then see this is booming. So like as you said, Vietnamese cold brew is a representation of, we hope we've done it well, to be honest, representation of how Vietnamese people serve the coffee. But at the same time, there are a lot of beverages like sparkling cold brew, spark it up and bloom it up, and blacksmiths and all these things, duct tapes. These are which are our own recipes, and uh, yeah, many have been there for like past 2 years. Many are just coming up more. So it is more of an experimentation, and we don't want to stick to something. We want to have an experimentative hand in that.
But these experiments, Mithilesh, have brought you a step, have added many feathers to your hat, and has brought you a step closer to lot many awards. You've been a TEDx speaker as well, as much as I read about you. And I've heard this thing about you into um, a champagne, something you did with champagne and AeroPress. Yeah. So would you like to tell us about that?
Okay, so a couple of things that I'm proud of for sure, like the Q grading, and then there are a lot of championships in coffee that have started up. It's almost like Olympics are in coffee. So AeroPress is one of the championships that happen in India, and I am proudly, like, I'm happy to say that from Nagpur, from India, I represent Nagpur, and then I represent the country, and I won the AeroPress championship, and I represent India at the World Championships. Apart from that, speaking at the Indian International Coffee Festival was really insane, because there are people. I shared stage with people who have got 30 years of experience, and it was just my third year into coffee. So I did feel great, like, wow, okay, you are on the right track, sort of a thing. But also, like, when I said about Corridor 7 being an experience based thing, we also look at coffee in a very championship manner. So it's very important to have a championship goal towards you, because then invariably you end up having a great quality of coffee. So that is something. And then speaking at TEDx was just incredible. It was a dream come true, I would say, because I remember when I got a call from them, I was like, this is a prank call or something like that. But it actually converted into the mail, and I was like, all right, hold on, this is happening, So it was really humbling. It was really amazing the way sharing stage with a lot of people. The tagline of Corridor 7 is dreams don't see what address it comes from. And I truly believe in that, because we are in a city which nobody expected to be in, and now people pan India know about something in Nagpur, so I'm really, really happy about it.
So Mithilesh, what is Corridor 7 future plans like? Do you plan to open a franchise in any other city?
Look, I want to keep it more of self-owned. So we are looking at something coming up, maybe Jan or Feb, something like that. We are keeping our cards very close to our chest and fingers crossed. But also we are looking at pan-India approach as well. Our coffees do go pan-India, but then we want to set up in other cities very soon. At the same time, we are expanding our branches towards the liquor mixers. We are making our in-house liquor, and since we used to do a lot of coffee cocktails, we figured that now we can't really do it. So we are bottling it up, and there are a lot of people who are taking it up. You'll see us at a lot of stores as well coming soon. And at the same time, of course, working with coffee is something with different farmers and different estate owners will be in the cards for sure. So you'll see us on Zomato and Swiggy as well about the coffee mixers. You can find us over there. So that is something that you can definitely do. Saturday nights, home parties or home brewing or something like that is on. So you can see us on these delivery platforms for sure.
So I wish you all the very best for that. I hope that happens soon. And as much as we love your coffee, I'm sure everybody's going to love the cocktail mixers as well.
Oh, yeah.
So all the very best for that. Thank you, Mithilesh.
Subscribe to Nation Next YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get regular updates from Nation Next. Also like Nation Next Facebook page and follow us on Instagram and Twitter.